Hi there. Uh, well, today's the today's like the last day of my vacation, full day. So I'm going back to the grind tomorrow evening, and of course I do dread it. Um, Vacations are really fun when you can have them, and vacations. I really it's one of those things with vacations. I really do envy people in other countries. They're granted paid vacation time guaranteed when they can have you know, anywhere from 4 to 7 to 8 weeks off a year. Yeah, I hear y'all Nordic countries, y'all got it good. And y'all want to ever come to America, remember there's the dark side of not having guaranteed free medical care and many jobs not providing long vacation times and people's retirement plans are not, the way it should be ideally. So just anybody who comes here, you know, there's a lot of good things about America, but there's some things you need to kind of be aware of and realize it is one of our flaws too of living in the United States. And I look forward to the day, and it ain't going to happen no matter who wins in November. It's not going to happen considering how we're going to get more of the same, more corporatism, more neoconservative foreign policy, more corruption, more bullshit. Anyway, speaking of bullshit, there is a vacant Supreme Court seat right now, and the controversy of having that court seat filled. Now, um, when Anthony Scalia died several years ago, and Barack Obama was going to appoint Merrick Garland, um, Mitch McConnell pulled a maneuver to wait until till after the election with whoever's going to be the new president. Well, 4 years later, um, Ruth Bader Ginsburg died. Instead of waiting until after the election, he wants to appoint a justice right away. Hypocrite, 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 hypocrite. And the day that Mitch McConnell is defeated is the day I will celebrate. He's probably the biggest son of a bitch this country has in right now. He is so much of a roadblock to progress in this country, and anything that can be done to knock him out electorally would be an awesome thing. I would like to see Amy Coney Barrett stopped at all costs. I just am tired of seeing the court shift further and further to the right. Um, and that leads me to the subject of what to do because they're already accusing Biden and Harris of wanting to go and stack the seats, 4 or 6 more seats into the court, packing the courts, packing the courts, packing the courts. Well, here's the thing. Right now, with the way the courts are shifting, I mean, we're going into authoritarianism. And maybe I'm not saying I'm 100% for packing the courts because, it depends on who's president and who's doing the appointing when it happens. I don't think that Biden nor Harris will pack the courts. I think there's too much political dynamite in regard to that. And don't act like Donald Trump and Mike Pence are honorable because if they could get away with it, they would do it. And maybe Joe so with Donald Trump and Mike Pence. In fact, I bet you that if they try that maneuver right now and they succeed, I'm talking about Trump and Pence. I mean, you would see the right wing rejoicing like you wouldn't believe, and um, anybody who denies it, they're full of it. But here's the thing: this is the truth. You hear both sides, and I know when I hear people say both sides, they roll their eyes and they don't want to hear about both sides. But sometimes there's a thing called both sides, and both sides are guilty of posturing. I hear Republicans saying, I mean, yeah, the Democrats, they are legitimately concerned about the courts shifting to the right. And that would be both camps. The progressives, the left, the those who lean more social democratically, like a Bernie Sanders or an AOC, when there are concerns about the court shifting to the right, they're they're correct to be concerned. If someone like Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden or Kamala Harris or Barack Obama are concerned about the courts shifting toward the rights, as much as I don't like Kamala Harris or Barack Obama or Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden, they also have legitimate concerns. There's just enough that might overlap in between the left and the corporate Democrats and the actual left that they have there's common ground as far as being concerned about the court shifting toward the right. When I hear Republicans talk about judicial activism, they're so full of shit when they do that. It's so disingenuous. They accuse the Democrats of judicial activism as if they're not for judicial activism. They want to do what they want to do. They want the courts to give corporations more power, and they want the courts in some sections of the right wants the courts to allow social political repression goes against certain groups of people, and to have it so that a certain religious point of view can be forced on people whether they want it or not. There is judicial activism on the right too, and so, but on the positive side, with regard to Democrats and Republicans, liberals and conservatives, I have seen where there is basically a consistency on free speech, that the courts ultimately vote in favor of or err on the side of free speech. And for that, I am grateful. Not every single case concerning free speech, but it seems like free speech do win a lot of court cases, and I'm glad to see that happen. Now, what are the solutions, as far as that? If you really don't want to politicize the courts, I do have a solution for this. Maybe, since the presidency has term limits of 2 terms, maybe, and some gubernatorships have 1 term limit. Some of them had 2 term limits. Maybe associate justices in the Supreme Court should have term limits too. Maybe a 10-year term limit. I guarantee you that if there's a 10-year term limit, there'll be a whole lot less politicizing on the courts, and and hopefully will keep. I think it might be the solution if you want to keep the concept of representative democracy, um, from want to keep that going, and that way, you don't have people from any particular side of the ideological corner trying to usurp as much power as possible. Now, I'm a hypocrite, maybe, because if Bernie Sanders was president and he wanted to pack the courts with 6 more justices, I would be like, bring it on. Let's do it. Let's do it. And the reason I would is because with Bernie Sanders, I know what kind of people he will appoint into the courts, and they would be they would be of a not on an economic terms, but on social issues. They would probably be of more on a left libertarian persuasion, erring on the right to privacy and free speech and things that protects individual rights. I think that Bernie Sanders will appoint those kind of people on the courts. But since it isn't Bernie Sanders doing the appointing, if this were to happen, I don't trust Joe Biden or Kamala Harris on the Democratic side, and I sure as hell wouldn't trust Donald Trump and especially Mike Pence on the Republican side if they were to be the ones packing the courts. So, whoever wins in November, and there's any attempts to pack the courts, count me as being opposed to it, no matter who wins, whether it's Biden Harris or whether it's Trump Pence. I think is actually a bad idea. And I think that maybe we should look onto the issue of term limits for Supreme Court justices. And while we're at it, term limits for members of Congress and the U.S. Senate too. I just think that's a good idea. Anyway, if you like what you heard today, just press the like button and comment. If you were triggered, you can comment anyway. Feel free to share the content on this channel. And as a First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you that if you're very passionate about something and you have a platform, you desire to build a platform, go ahead and build a platform and utilize such platforms, because we're all the muckrakers of our time. More importantly than anything else, on this channel, if you haven't subscribed, you know what you need to do. Hit that subscribe button. Help this channel become relevant. Help it grow. And until next time, peace and Bernie Sanders for president in the year 2024.